How are we doing today, Twin Flames? Today I wanted to have a discussion surrounding a very important topic, as well as problem that's been operating above and below the surface within our once sacred, divine, pure, and highly logical planet known as Mother Earth. I made a video on here about 2 months ago referring to what's known as Holy Grail unions, and also compared them to twin flame unions in order to help viewers have a clearer perspective regarding the difference between the two. In that video, I talk about how Holy Grail unions are actually Bride of Satan unions in disguise, as well as provided explanations and telling why you should always pursue a pure, holy, blessed twin flame connection instead of a satanic Bride of Satan Holy Grail union arrangement. With that knowing, although Holy Grail unions are in fact Bride of Satan unions, this doesn't mean that all Bride of Satan unions are actually Holy Grail unions. To have an even better understanding of the next part of this video, I recommend you take a look at the video I was just mentioning regarding Holy Grail unions beforehand, which you can find a direct link to located right in the description. To continue, I also refer to Bride of Satan unions as Harley Quinn and Joker unions, or even Bonnie and Clyde unions, and this is because of the amount of karma and drama that consists in the backwards, inverted, distorted, toxic karmic contract arrangement. In order for you to have a better understanding of what these types of relationships are that I speak of, which I'm sure you'll be familiar with on some level if you haven't been in one of these yourselves, I'll provide you all a couple of examples. One example of a Bride of Satan union dynamic is whenever you see a couple where not only the energy of the relationship is unbalanced, but the total lack of respect that one will have for the other, usually the abusive male towards the female, or even that they will fail to have for each other, is through the roof on another level. Even when the relationship consists of mild bickering and disagreeing every now and then, this can technically still be considered a Bride of Satan contract arrangement, due to the fact that it is still toxic and unholy, but for now we would just stick to the more severe, damaging, unhealthy cases of these types of so-called relationships. Within these specific arrangements, it will not be uncommon to see one individual, we'll use a male in this case, that will throw the balance of the union off by either lacking in something, overcompensating in an area, or both oftentimes it will be. If the male is lacking in masculine energy, he will very likely display this by pointing blame at his counterpart, by making them pick up weight in areas where they should be helping carrying it as well, by abusing and belittling them in varying degrees, all while not taking any responsibility for themselves. If you've been on the twin flame ascension journey for a long enough time, you may have already heard of the term distorted masculine before, which is the complete mirror opposite of the divine masculine Christ, and this is exactly what these types of so-called men upholding these types of satanic relationships are. I actually just felt my body, especially my mid to upper chakras, become very tightened and constricted, making me feel very tensed up and even a bit hard to breathe. So this was Spirit's way of conveying to us just how bound and limited the woman of the union will be in this type of arrangement, like a caged animal. The energies of being kidnapped and a slave, and Spirit also just said sex slave as well, came through next, which is actually in perfect alignment with the theme of Satan being the headmaster of the entire thing. All throughout the relationship, the woman, who is most certainly bound to them in a thick, Spirit saying, karmic contract arrangement, will lose a great deal of life force energy, dignity, self-respect, and the personal, special relationship that they once had with themselves, if they did at some point, making it seemingly impossible to recover and get back to how things were before the abuse as a result. In worst cases, the victim will even lose their lives from the abuse, making it so that they never got the chance to blossom into the person they were supposed to become, and severely harming everyone who ever loved and cared about them in the end. Another example of Bride of Satan unions are the Bonnie and Clyde unions, which you can also categorize as Harley Quinn and Joker unions as well. And these are the classic types of relationships where both parties in the union will take on and accept the role of Satan in order to do all kinds of harm, and preferably get away with it to society and even their loved ones, so long as they are together as an inverted power couple. Although there are the more obvious types of unions like these that you've likely seen time and time again in the entertainment industry especially, such as the Bride of Chucky for example, or even the literal film Bonnie and Clyde, there are other types of arrangements in close relativity to the ones just mentioned that can do severe damage to others quite sneakily. And these are the Bride of Satan relationships that consist of one or both individuals in the union having toxic, addictive behavior patterns and dependencies. Within these arrangements, one or more will oftentimes be addicted to some form of a substance. It will drain the energies of their family by causing them to worry about them a very excessive amount, or to even have to bail them out of all kinds of low situations. Were you able to spot Satan within anything that I just mentioned? If you notice that in order for this toxic relationship to thrive, that others have to suffer, then this is the exact unbalanced, backwards, inverted, downright silly setup that Satan and his beast system put into place on purpose. And if you were to ask why, well, it's to kill as many birds with one stone as possible, plain and simply. It's like telling people, well, you better pay up because we're here. However, these types of karmic unions are soon dying out as we shift into the 5D New Earth Age of Aquarius paradise where they cannot remain, as the theme is completely different here and the vibration way too high. So this is good news, although there are still people suffering unnecessarily in some way or another in the meantime from these counterfeit twin flame union setups, because it's been confirmed by spirit that inverted twin flame unions are exactly what these are as Satan's sort of diss for God's children being here and for even being created in the first place. In order to counteract anyone's suffering unnecessarily that you may know, or who's becoming the bride to someone Satan more and more every day, or even if you're someone in this position currently, please muster up as much strength as you have, and it's a crap ton, trust me, to drop by my Etsy shop so that Christ, myself, and our etheric psychic surgery team can work our magic to get you gradually removed from that situation with just a few, or sometimes a bit more if needed, curse breaker sessions. Our crew is the absolute real deal, as the highest divine beings are in charge of it, and actually strongly urged me to open it to begin with. It's getting stronger and stronger every time we flex our muscles and perform a session, and our level of expertise and overall knowledge of all things Ascension is to infinity and beyond. So fall back into Jesus and put your trust into Him to pull you or a loved one out of a seemingly hopeless karmic situation, for salvation and working the most unexpected miracles is what He is here for and extremely good at. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check the description for info on my services and offers. Like and subscribe if you like future content from me, and stay blessed, Starseeds.